Hello, animal communicators. Welcome to my weekly input, my weekly snapshot of training for you to help you with your animal communication work. This is where I share anything that is coming up in my programs and individual client work that I think would be beneficial for you so that you can help improve your communication work. So for those of you that don't know me, my name is Sarah Jane LeBlanc. I am often known as the Pet Whisperer, and I have been communicating with animals professionally and teaching people how to communicate with animals for nearly 20 years now. So a long time, a lot of experience, and I still absolutely love what I do. So today I thought I would talk a little bit about feedback, okay, and not just getting feedback from your guardians, which I always, and here I'm always advocating and promoting that you do that. But I wanted to touch on feedback, both in terms of how you give feedback and how you receive feedback, because this comes up a lot for students on my program in their early stages of the program when they're just learning how to make a connection, practicing with friends and family. And there's a lot to be said about how you, as the animal communicator, give your feedback. So one of my top tips here is to always stay as strictly close to the truth of what you receive and how you receive it as possible. So when you do that, what actually happens here is you increase the likelihood or probability of your information being understood and resonating for the guardian, and you decrease the probability or likelihood of the guardian believing that you are wrong. So an example of that would be something like, this is actually a real example from a couple of years ago. It's a good one though. When the student said something like, you're, I can't remember which animal it was. Anyway, it doesn't matter. The response was, she really loves peanuts. And the guardian came back and said, no, she's never had peanuts, ever. So from the guardian's perspective, that's wrong. Animal communicator, maybe they're not that good. Maybe this animal communication stuff is just a bit too woo-woo and airy-fairy. And for the student, it's just wrong. And they're left feeling demoted or that their confidence has taken a blow. And they might be asking, why am I even doing this? So here's the thing. When I spoke to the student, we got to grips with how she received the information. And what she'd actually received was an image of what looked like a peanut. So it was an image of a nut, and she had the sensation of it being like a sweet chocolate bar, confectionery. It was a treat. You know, she had that sensation that it was a treat, and the impression of perhaps like a bar. So here's the thing: if she had fed that back in exactly that way, that said, you know, your animal companion showed me an image of what looked like a nut, could be in a bar type shape, but this is definitely a treat, something that she feels really excited and happy to have, then the response from that would be, ah, yes, because this is what happened. Ah, yes, that's because we give her such and such treats and they have whatever it was that was in them that could look like nuts. So do you see how sticking to what you've got rather than creating your own assumption around what it is and then stating it as fact? So it was stated as fact. Your girl likes peanuts. So it came back, no, she doesn't. She's never had peanuts ever. So when you state it as fact, as I said before, you kind of increase the likelihood of it not resonating because there's not enough room there for the guardian to determine their own interpretation of what you receive. So stick to the facts. So that's the most important thing I can share with you about giving your feedback to the guardian. And then in terms of receiving feedback from the guardian, it's really, really essential that you do this or that you receive this. And I would be saying to you all, if you are practicing with other people's animals to build your confidence, to build your experience, build your competence in this work, you're giving up your time and your energy to do that, with the overall aim that you'll be helping the guardian and helping the animal. So the exchange for that, because you're not charging if you're practicing, so the exchange for that is that the guardian takes their time and gives you good quality, constructive feedback on what you get. And I would really encourage all of you to make that an essential part of the contract, the agreement that you have if you're communicating with anybody's animals. Yes, I'd love to help. And what would help me is if you could give me feedback. If you're happy to give me feedback, I'll give you my time, my energy, my devotion, and my heart to investigate this issue for you. So that's the second area of the feedback input today. And it's so, so important, because only with good quality constructive feedback can you learn. That's how you learn. You're like, oh, right, okay, I wonder how that was so off. And then you can start to think about it. You can reflect back on your experience and match it up with the guardian's feedback, and you can start to learn about things that are showing up for you, the patterns that then might start to emerge in your work as an animal communicator. Because remember, we're all unique. We're unique individuals, and that makes us unique animal communicators too. So you will have your own way to do this. The information will come through in its own way for you, and by getting good constructive feedback from your clients, that helps you to see and gather evidence of your own unique style as an animal communicator. So that's my top two strategies for you today. Give your own feedback as close to how you received it as possible. And secondly, make sure you always get good quality constructive feedback on your animal communication practices with others. Here in the group, we have a practice animal, an animal teacher comes into the group every Tuesday, and you have until Thursday to communicate with them. And the guardian, part of the agreement that I have with people whose animals we work with here, is that they will give you good quality constructive feedback. So use this group to get your practice and to get your feedback too. So until next time, happy communicating.